Uh, Hello everyone, my name is Eugene. Today I'm gonna talk about the game called Age of Mythology. It is for my assignment for IAT210 class, Game Theory and Design. Game Age of Mythology was initially released by a company called Assemble Studio in 2002, and only 13 years later the company called Skybox Labs have bought the rights to modify the game, and they did release the expansion pack called Tale of Dragons, as well as an HD graphics, which introduced a lot of different updates for graphical vision to make the game more attractive, as well as make additional content for enormous amount of fun of this game. The Age of Mythology is a real-time strategy game which take players through the historical events of ancient Greece, Egypt, Scandinavian, Norse and Chinese. RTS sometimes refer to games of type when you play as a god. This game you literally play as a god. There are 15 gods available for you to choose. In latest expansion called Tale of Dragons, they did introduce 3 additional gods of Chinese civilization, and since I haven't played this game for a long time, and I'm really curious about to know more about Chinese, so I'm gonna select a Chinese god as my favorite. I'm gonna choose random one, and my enemy would be, let's say any Greece civilization will work for this demo. So I'm gonna set the difficulty of the mod. I'm gonna play a 1 versus 1 against the bot on random map. Okay, let's begin. So my god is Fuxi, and I'm gonna play against the Zeus. So as you can see, every player start very simple, just containing like a base, like which is town center, and a few villagers to collect initial resources, as well as a few scouts. It is important to explore the map using the scouts, and to be able to locate important resources such as gold and relics. Overall, the game contains 4 major resources, which is wood, food, gold, and favor. Every civilization gives a favor in different way. The important point is to expand your civilization by building, by constructing additional buildings to be able to have access to new technology and units. So it's also important to find the most right strategies that you can exploit against your enemy. It will give you a competitive advantage, and if you know what you're doing and you choose the correct strategy, it is a good chance you will win the game. The latest phase of fighting will come later on, when the fighting phase will come later on, when every of the player gonna reach the every player is gonna advance to the next age, which gonna give you access to military units, and then I will demonstrate the basics of how does fighting works in this system. So right now my job is very simple, is to be able to sustainably producing the villagers, so I can grab more resources, explore map with my scouts, and expand my civilization. The important role of this game also playing the god powers that you have on the top of the screen. These god powers are used once per game. It is specific. This is a powers that give you a unique way of getting an advantage against your opponent economically or in military purpose. So right now I have only 1 power, and once I gonna advance to the next age, I gonna obtain more powers. Right now I have a power which gonna spawn several goats. I mean, well, it can be useful, but I will use it later throughout the game just to demonstrate how does god power works. I will skip all this boring phase of developing my civilization, and next we're gonna look at how does military component play in this game, because it's a strategy, and as a result we wanted to defeat our enemy. So I'm gonna scroll to I'm gonna advance to the next stage just to demonstrate what kind of how does it works, and gonna skip to actual fighting process. So we see here, once we decided to advance to the new civilization, when we collect enough resources, in our case it's 400 food, we are given the choice between two gods which we want to favor more. So there is every god has its own unique god power. If you choose Huang Di, we're gonna get this call for arms, which gonna give us more units if we use it, more military units. And this Monkey King Sun Wukong gonna give us the boost to our unit speed. So it is a trade-off. It is up to the player. It's up to the player to decide when he or she wants to which power as well as some unique technology and some mythical units. But I'm gonna get more detail about it later on. So all this phase of adventuring I'm gonna skip and gonna jump to actual military buildings and fighting process. Here I'm back at my base already at classical age. So far, as you can see, I have constructed additional buildings and create some of the military units. I want to expand a little bit more about how does military balance is implemented in the game. The overall, the balance is achieved by rock paper scissors type of the balance. First of all, we have regular human soldiers, which are represented by those pikemen and crossbowmen. Those are regular units that use for warface. It also include cavalry, siege units, and ships. On the other hand, we have what's called mythical units. In my opinion, it's what made games the most fun, because those mythical units are so strong against the regular human soldiers, so even one unit can take the small to big army of those. And the last component are the heroes. The heroes are regular humans, besides that are exceptionally strong against the mythical units. It makes sense if you look at it, since like if you look at the historical times, there are a lot of myths that when some kind of mythical units or any type of the monster come to destroy your city, and it can easily defeat hundreds or maybe thousands, sometimes regular soldiers, but there is one hero that can actually defeat those monsters and save the city. You can see it throughout the history and any other kind of movies and so on. So however, those heroes are weakness. The weakness of those heroes are that they can be outnumbered by regular human soldiers, such as crossbows and pikemen, and they will be able to take them out just because there are a large number of them. Besides the military units, you can to make it stronger and to improve the quality of them, there are a few updates available, upgrades available in armory, where you can upgrade your attack of your units as well as your defense of them. So I'm gonna choose all of them. I guess it's time to demonstrate the use of the god powers. For example, I'm in a situation that I don't have any kind of food at my at current point. I can build the farms for sure, but for sake of demonstration, I will create some food. I will use some god power to create some food for me. So I'm gonna select the power to spawn the goats, and I'm gonna select the place, and voila, I have a few goats available appear here from nowhere, because I choose the gods that I favor that give me some goats. It is a small advantage which give me a few hundred woods, but still it's gonna help me to overcome such crisis when I don't have any food at all. I have second god power, which is called Call for Arms. Those are used to increment the number of army you have. So right now I have only 4 soldiers, 2 pikemen and 2 crossbow. So whenever I'm gonna apply this power, I have duplicate the number of them. Right now I have 4 crossbow and 4 pikemen, and even I'm gonna get another mythical units. So you see, god powers can help you to achieve, can give you some spare resources or some kind of military advantage, which is, in my idea, is pretty awesome. So I guess it's time for us to select all our army and to actually demonstrate what are the fighting system, how does fighting works in Age of Mythology. So I selected all my units and we're slowly advancing on our enemy base. In my opinion, the game is fairly balanced in terms of different civilizations. So no matter which 5 civilization you choose and no matter which god you choose, you will have about the same type of advantage or disadvantages for every civilization. Overall, it's fairly balanced, and it really depends upon which particular case you're using and how do you organize your army and other units. The fighting process in Age of Mythology are completely based on skill, in my opinion. The developers make a good job to minimize the randomness of attacks as less as possible, which make game fair to everyone to play. So the people who are really good at micromanagement of your base as well as micromanagement of your every individual unit will have a good advantage against other people. So let's go and demonstrate and show how does military fighting are working in Age of Mythology. So right now I reached the enemy base, and as you can see I have discovered a few of the villagers which I gonna attack. It is very important to take out villagers of enemy base of any enemy, because those are responsible of collecting the resources, and if you're gonna disrupt the process of collecting resources for your enemy, it will definitely give you an advantage. So right now, as you can see, my opponent tried to stop my attack by creating several kind of mythical units, creating towers, heroes, in order to prevent his base from destruction. But so far I'm taking win. Okay, as you can see, all my units are taken down, so I lose this attack, but I have given a significant damage to enemy base. As well as it's also worth mentioning that enemy is able to use god powers. In such a case, he used a power where I cannot attack his base or any of his units, and neither he can, but he can take this time to reconstruct buildings and create more military units and oppose and create like an opposition power against me. So I guess it will conclude my review about the game called Age of Mythology. It's worth mentioning that the people who are really big fan of history and mythicals and cultures of Asian countries will definitely find this game very enjoyable for playing. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and yeah, I'll see you around.